talking about how we started this conscious relationship, and then also what a conscious relationship means to us.
That's right. Welcome back. I don't know where to begin. Well, I got invited to a dinner party. That was kind of last minute invite. Someone sort of fell through, and I got a last minute call. Do you want to join me to this dinner party, which I didn't really know what it was all about. It was called Cosmic Feast. It was held at a private house, which later became the Dharma Temple. At this dinner party, it turned out to be a Tantra workshop. I'd been just sort of introduced the idea of tantric practices and philosophy, deeper aspects of intimacy and awareness and like self-awareness and open-heartedness, vulnerability, all of that. We had both attended. That's where we met at this dinner party. Sort of shifting partners and doing eye gazing, like I said, dyad practices. That's where we first locked eyes, and things went from there, I guess. But that's my take on it.
Yeah, thank you. And so it was funny because I had been doing some deep healing work, and I was actually supposed to be in a trail running race just outside of Canmore that weekend, and I kept getting this feeling inside that I wasn't supposed to go, and that I was supposed to sign up for this Cosmic Feast, and I left it quite last minute, and I messaged to see if there's a ticket left, and sure enough, as divine timing goes, there was a ticket, so I chose to go to the Cosmic Feast instead of go on our girls' trail running weekend. And it was, just a great magical day. I got there, and it was a beautiful space, a big long table, and I actually noticed Byron when he first walked in. And then we ended up doing dyad work, and our actually turn with each other was no spoken words. It was just holding hands and eye gazing. And this message came through that from a voice, he's the one that you've been waiting for. And I kind of just tilted my head and was like, okay. And so I knew kind of from that there was something. We didn't actually exchange numbers or anything, and then we got each other's name, and then it was about 2 weeks later maybe that we met up again, and that's how we met.
Yeah, which was to me it was it couldn't be more perfect, I guess, or more timely for our own personal journeys. So to meet someone through eye gazing and actually being in the whole practice of being seen, allowing yourself to being seen, which a lot of us don't do. In other words, you're not putting on a smile, you're not putting on a show, that you just do on the street just to be civil. You're just standing there being you and opening to the person's, attention, full awareness, full attention. And, if you allow yourself to do that, it's somewhat psychedelic. It's somewhat scary. So how often do you allow someone to just, they call it the eyes or the windows to the soul, and how often do you allow yourself or allow someone to look into your soul? We're so guarded all the time. And so you can learn so much about someone just by eye gazing clearly. On our first date, we went for a hike and we talked about spiritual practices, spirituality, whatever you want to call it. The ideal relationship, basically, or what we're looking for, knowing we're talking to each other, but sort of doing it in a roundabout, general kind of way, like we're just friends, just hanging out. But obviously, we knew, I think, what our intentions were. But yeah, so what does a conscious relationship mean to you?
Yeah, so it was really interesting. I wrote quite a bit of a somewhat poetic outline that maybe will pop down below in the comments about what a conscious relationship is. But for me, it's definitely a place where you are vulnerable and open up to being yourself fully. It's also a space where you're still connected to yourself in devotion to the divine, while also in this journey and the loving ocean with someone else. I kind of spoke about it as a triangle. Is that the divine is kind of the piecing us together. So the divine is into two, and that we're going back to the divine, while interconnecting and finding that divinity, that piece to pull down in between that relationship. So and we've had quite I like to call them galactic, kind of like cosmic experiences we've had together, and to me that is where we're both showing up fully vulnerable as ourselves, and seeing the blind spots with each other, and allowing those triggers to immediately come back to the self. It's not something's wrong with you. It's like, wait a minute, what's going on with me, and having those discussions. And it's not reactionary, and it's I remember telling a friend like that summer is the biggest growth you'll have is in relationship, and I truly believe that. Once you've, like Byron had said, once you do a lot of your own self-work, you need, and if you're not in a relationship, I would encourage you to also get a coach then, because you need those other reflections to get into those areas, one that we may not want to look at, and others that we may just not even know exist. So we're already whole at the core, and it's just a process of letting go and coming into union with the divine and one another.
Yeah, couldn't have said it better. Yeah, that's exactly it. To your point of if you're not in a relationship, everything's a teacher too. So like life is your teacher. Everyone you interact with at work, your neighbors on the street, friends, family. I mean, everyone's a teacher, and everyone's, you can start to view everyone sort of in this light. I share pretty much exactly the philosophy with Megan as far as what it means to me. Like I had said, I view it as it's an opportunity for you to practice opening up in ways you never thought possible if you really allow yourself. Just the vulnerability is so key. If something triggers you, and then you just actually just voice that instead of holding on to it, and either grows a little resentment or a little distrust or fear or just something very maybe something just very minor, just slight irritation or whatever the case is. Or you could actually have the vulnerability to voice that, and you can build the trust, through a conscious relationship. If both people, of course, it's helpful if both people are on board, right? And then you do tantric practices together, diet work, go to yoga classes together. Wake up, go to like a morning sadhana, with the partner. Do something that's kind of sort of a chore for both, like something you both do, you know. So it's like you build this trust with each other, so that when you do voice these things, it's not falling on deaf ears. A conscious relationship is holding on to your identification with, pure awareness, and knowing that that person isn't the access point to love for you. That love is in you. You find that in yourself. This person is in the ocean of love with you. And to not misidentify them as the access point to feeling open and love and spacious. It's like being able to share that and view that as a commonality, as a common ground, that you both possess that, and you can shine that onto each other to really further, the work on yourself and each other, and just the growth. And it's not all about just work and all that,
It's fun.
And it's fun, and it's unbelievable depth of relationship and intimacy that you may have not ever experienced. It has nothing to do with the timeline of a relationship. It's measured in depth, and you can go very deep with someone very quickly with intention. I don't know if I not really prepared, didn't really write that down exactly, but yeah, it pretty much mirrors exactly what Megan had said. I don't know if there's anything to add to this video, which is could be quite long.
Could be.
Might edit it down a little bit.
But yeah, I mean, this is going to be an ongoing kind of conversation about relationship and consciousness and different juicy aspects of it. So continue with this journey and subscribe, and we look forward to offering up some practices to you, and just having a different conversation. I mean, an intimate relationship is just one aspect of it, but I think this world really needs to open up and tap into unconditional love in all relationships, just as from being to being. So, thanks for tuning in.
Yes. So now.